Hello and welcome to YouTube Pagan Challenge Week 3. So, the question for this week is, do you have an altar, shrine, or sacred space? The answer to this question is, I have multiple altars, and I will show you all of them because that is quite what you want, right? And I do not have anything quite called a shrine, and I have multiple sacred spaces, although I do believe that the entire world and all of the universe and multiverses are divine. This is my main altar. I sit in front of it every day to do general devotionals and general meditations and whatnot. It is based upon the god and goddess as well as the elements. And over on this side of the altar, we have the goddess side of the altar. I have various objects that remind me of the goddess or the feminine side of divinity. And on this side of the altar, we have multiple masculine objects that remind me of the god, or the masculine side of divinity. In the center, I have two dancing bears that represent the duality between the feminine and the masculine. Surrounding them is a crystal grid based upon the elements and a couple special rocks, and behind them is a bunch of pine cones from Michigan. Michigan is my hometown, and it is nice to have a piece of my home right in the center of my altar. And over behind is this. This is a bunch of element flags from the Buddhist religion. It came with my singing bowl that I ordered, and the flags are supposed to be protective of a sort, and so it is right to hang them. And I find it very beautiful that I could incorporate them into my main altar. This is the altar that I made for my dead cat, Coco. Coco was very special to me, and she was my first and only pet that I've ever really had for myself. We do own 2 cats and a bunch of fish currently at my house, but they aren't personally mine, whereas Coco was mine. And she actually quite liked tarot. It was really interesting. She always played with my cards. I have a few of her toys, her collar, and the gloves that were like hairbrushes for her, and a lot of pictures of her hanging from all directions so that it can just be a beautiful representation of Coco. Sharing a shelf with Coco's altar is the butterfly altar I'm currently building. The butterfly is my spirit guide, and I actually would like to have an altar that I can use to honor the butterfly. And so I am still currently building this altar. I'm not exactly entirely sure what else I'm going to incorporate into it, although I do know that the rest of these walls will have drawings that I've done of butterflies. And I'm hoping that someday when I move out that I can have my butterfly altar on its own general shelf that doesn't have a top, so that I can put this poster over here behind it, but that poster won't go on any shelf, so it has to go somewhere where it can just like build up and like be by itself, because look, it's huge. It's a humongous poster, and it's beautiful, and it seems like the ultimate piece of butterfly to have. And I actually really wish I could incorporate it over here, but I don't think that I can with the limited amount of space that I have. Over here, we have my seasonal altar. With every single holiday that comes, I change the altar. Sometime after the previous holiday was over, but long before the next holiday has ensued. I set up the altar whenever I feel a transition within the seasons, and this is currently set up for Imbolc, which it might not be obvious considering I have a particular view on Imbolc that isn't exactly traditional. So you will find out about this beautiful Imbolc feeling that I have in another video. However, this is my seasonal altar, and I am showing it to you for the basis of showing off all of my altars. What does remain the same, though, is the 2 candles here to represent the god and the goddess in every single one of my altars built for the seasonal altar. My room is my main sacred space. It is quite beautiful. If you would like a full scope of what the entirety of my room looks like, you should watch my room tour video that I just did quite recently. However, my room is extremely sacred to me, and I almost always just do rituals in here. When I don't do rituals in here, I do them outside in my backyard. Outside is an absolutely wonderful place to be doing these rituals. I have a table and a general area that is really soft to step on for my feet, so I can actually go barefoot out here. However, somebody else has quite destroyed the backyard, so I cannot currently do any rituals out here, nor can I show you absolutely everything. But I did want to be outside in order to tell you that one of my absolutely favorite places to do rituals is my backyard around a beautiful table, which is surrounded by... It just needs cleaned up. I'm not too... Yeah. Thank you for watching. That was all of my altars and my main sacred spaces where I do rituals. And blessed be.